Clients recognize that with my background in programming, my background in biotech and medtech, that I understand what they're doing and where the pitfalls are.
I'm George Whipple, one-on-one with Hemant Gupta. Hemant, welcome.
Thank you, George. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've had a circuitous route to get to where you're sitting right now. In fact, you haven't always been a lawyer. You started your career in a very noble place as a children's cancer researcher. How did you get from cancer research to managing intellectual property for clients here at EBG?
I was a scientist working at St. Jude doing research for about 5 years. And at that point, I decided, okay, I'm going to change my career. I don't want to just be a scientist studying the same protein interaction that my boss had studied for 20 years. I wanted to see more technology. So I switched into law school and became a patent attorney. And initially, my practice was all focused on life science and biotech patents. But over the years, it's expanded to include trademark and copyright. And lately, there's been a lot more interest in the technology side, where IP and technology meet, and how that's important for companies that are expanding their product lines.
On top of all of that, you're also a software programmer. How does that help you with clients?
I think that clients recognize that with my background in programming, my background in biotech and medtech, that I understand what they're doing and where the pitfalls are, that I can easily relate to them with an understanding of the development process, that I know, having been in their shoes previously, how programmers think, how developers think, how even engineers in a biotech company, how they approach problems and what solutions they use. A lot of times companies are just trying to show that something is working. They do a first prototype. They're not looking to see which licenses are required. They just want to see if this will actually work. And then once it does, they get excited and they start moving forward without remembering to go back and do it the right way with the proper licenses and rights. A lot of my clients are also friends of mine. I understand what challenges they're going to face, and a lot of times for the clients, I'll bring a business view to them very early on that says, "Look, I know that you want to be acquired, or this is your exit strategy in the next 10 years. Let's prep you for that." In the same way that you would prep your house for sale from day one and take care of issues that an inspector may find. It's the same thing for our company, making sure that they're not going to have issues when it comes to due diligence. There aren't going to be surprises that decrease the value of the company. And a lot of that does involve making sure that the IP is protected, that all rights are assigned to the company, and that they have a competitive edge over their peers.
When you look back, do you have any regrets? Did you make the right choice to become a lawyer?
I love what I do. I do get excited. It's actually hard to sleep because sometimes in the middle of the night I'll wake up and my mind will start racing and I'll think about issues or that a client may have, or excited about something that they're doing and other ways that I can help them. And I'm happy to share any expertise that I have that will help them and their companies grow.
Everybody's talking about AI right now, but you're dealing with companies that are way, way out on the bleeding edge in terms of technology. What kind of challenges do you see with your clients?
A lot of the programmers today are using AI to write the code, not just check the code, but often they're writing it. And there's been a lot of issues where code has been implemented into a larger program, and later during the diligence process, when it's clear that all the rights were not assigned, the company either has to back out that code and have it rewritten without having looked at the legally obtained code, or they have to find ways to properly license after the fact, and it makes it really messy. And a lot of that falls under the AI governance area of law, where we're helping companies set up their policies and programs, make sure that the employees are using AI in the right way, that they understand the risks of AI, that they also understand what they can and can't do with a particular system, and why the company may have an account with one provider, but if an employee is using a different one, what kind of risks will come out of that?
Thank you, Hemant, for being with us and sharing your experience.
Oh, thank you, George. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you very much for watching.